Welcome back to Wedlocked and Loaded.
Wedlocked and loaded.
You women.
Do not lump us all in one category.
So you girls, and lie and stretch the truth
You
and try
girls,
to get us jammed up.
First of all, I'm a whole ass woman, right? Think about
No
that.
disrespect.
Sounds like it to me. So why can't y'all? What is it with men that they just can't walk away?
Depends how good it is. You don't want to give that away.
Greetings. New episode of Wedlocked and Loaded. We're back again. Daniel Laurent here.
Along with Leah and Nicole. I mean,
Are you awake?
I'm here, but I'm just waiting for your typical long-winded introduction.
I'm gonna keep the energy that I have.
Good.
And I'm not gonna go down to a low frequency.
Oh, shoot. Because what Michelle say, when they go low, you go high.
No, we're past that.
Oh, okay.
So, I wanted to ask you, because we've been getting hammered with snow, and it's always an interesting time because, you know, folks who are single, women mostly, it's always interesting, the videos that get posted in the comments and, you know, the solicitations, if you will. I just find it interesting. Like, every snowstorm is always a thing. And I think no one really likes shoveling unless that's your job and you're getting paid for it. And so, you know, as a man in a relationship, that's kind of part of the deal. It's an unspoken thing. But when you're single, how's that? How like, what do you feel? Do you talk to any single girlfriends? Like, do you see posts with people making comments like, damn, I wish I would have blew him more?
Oh, wow. No.
If my head was better, he would have stayed.
No.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
No.
You don't see that?
I don't see that.
I wish I would have gave him that threesome.
Yeah. So, no. Again. I actually, I was actually trying to think back to when I was single and driving a vehicle and how that worked in the snow. And what's crazy is I really don't remember. I never owned a shovel. I do know that.
Yeah, you've always had assistance. And that's part of the problem. That's y'all chicks.
Well, it ain't all of us chicks, clearly, right?
I think no, Leah. It's mine.
You offered to share me earlier.
No, I gave you a taste.
Okay, so when I give you a taste.
All right, Leah, yeah. But that's literally the problem of you don't remember having a shovel. Like, you girls, so you can literally leave the house.
Let's stick to the snow. Okay.
Well,
let's stick to the snow.
It's all related.
Let's stick to the snow.
But that's fine. But it's all related. We'll get to it another time.
Here's the deal, though, right? Like, and we talked about this a little bit before.
Dildo.
Lord Jesus, help him. Please help him. We talked about this a little bit before, but like, I'm not above, well, right now I'm not doing it, but I'm not above like going out and shoveling, right? Well, also, I'm not above calling somebody to come do it for me. And if I have to pay for it, I pay for it. And I'm
with
okay
cash
with
or
that.
Service?
With cash. I'm not a service for service type of girl, honey.
Why? You don't believe in barter system?
It's not in my wheelhouse.
That's unfortunate.
It's not. Not that kind of service anyway.
It could be cooking a nice meal.
I can make you some oatmeal.
No, Leah. No one's coming to shovel anybody out for fucking oatmeal.
Listen.
Like, you know.
You were talking about a specific kind of service, so like, don't try to switch it.
Well, I was talking, yeah.
And so,
like, how dope is that? You shovel somebody out, you come in the house, take your wet boots off,
and get into something wet?
Hopefully it is.
I mean,
But some people have
are we
things.
talking about me or are we talking about some people?
Stay on track, Leah.
Oh, now
I don't want to go
now
down.
you want to stay on
I
track?
don't want to go down to your frequency. Like, it's not, you know what I mean?
Maybe if anything, you climbing up, honey, because my frequency ain't low, boo.
It's low. It's very low. And so I want to keep this on track. So, okay. So as far as the snow, you haven't like seen.
I've seen
You don't see your girlfriends complain? Because I see them.
You see my girlfriends complaining?
I see mutual friends, and they.
Oh, are they friends or associates?
Yeah, I don't want to do semantics, so.
Well, because it's very
important. So they are Facebook friends, and they're like blah blah, and it's like.
I think nobody wants to shovel this fucking snow.
But
you don't want to shovel this snow.
You need to be mindful when it's August. You need to put out.
Ooh, this is perfect.
And make sure that like you're locking in, because when
but if
October, November, December, January comes, you need to like have an option. But you want to, you know what I mean? Do your Keisha Cole shit, and
I knew you was going there.
All that, then sometimes it don't work out. Or if your shit's not good and it's not up to snuff, people don't want to deal with that because your back hurts when you're shoveling wet snow. And like, I'm gonna be very like, if I'm out here, I'm gonna be very mindful who I shovel for.
You're gonna be doing service for service. Anyway, let me say this.
Rub my back, and then I mean, come on. That's like that's peace.
Yeah.
So.
But not everybody that gives you a piece brings you peace.
Ooh. That's that Maya Angelou shit.
Okay.
That's real.
So let's talk about it. And so.
But no one can give you peace or bring you peace. You have to find your own internal peace.
Hello.
Boom. That's that Kevin Samuel shit.
But most of y'all out here chasing peace.
Oh my God.
By
all
peace.
Right. Enough. Go on. What are you going to say?
So, but no, I have not seen and or heard any of my friends complaining about shoveling themselves out. It is kind of crazy. And I think it's all back breaking work, you know what I'm saying, regardless of who is doing it. But, I think in this aspect, like, love thy neighbor and just being chivalrous, like, I think all of that is null and void at this point.
What do you mean?
And meaning, like, had I been, maybe I didn't own a shovel because, my neighbors shoveled me out at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, they took care of it and shoveled me out. And that's just the neighborly thing to do. Like, just taking care of each other, right? Maybe I babysat their kids at some point. I don't know, right? But like, that's just looking out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it sucks that right now, in times like this, that everyone is literally just for self. It's interesting, when we had that little bit of snow, that little duster a couple of weeks back, folks was knocking on the door asking to shovel. Them motherfuckers ain't came back this go around.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are lazy, man.
Well, I wouldn't categorize it as that.
Well, no, I think overall people are lazy, and I mean, without getting into a whole thing, but I that's part of. I don't know. I think us here are lazy, and that's part of, people that migrate here. You know what I'm saying? It's a different level of like hustle and intensity and getting to it. And so,
I don't know if it's lazy or comfortable, right?
I think it's both. I think people feel like, and they had talked. I didn't listen to the clip. I'll listen to it later on, but they had talked about it on Breakfast Club. I seen the title, and it was like, kids don't hustle today like they used to, or something like that. So people probably were calling and airing their stories, but like,
So I think the hustle,
you know how much of a killing you can make like with that, but like you
but there's
gotta be
only
ready to get it.
but there's also only so much of that type of stuff that you can do. And here's the thing,
What do
I'm
you
not
mean?
into so
On a snow day?
on a snow day, if you got a snow blower, like, cool. But like, if you out here shoveling, and yes, some of these younger children, you know what I'm saying, they're not gonna have the same aches as a 40, 50 plus year old person will have, right? However, like, how, some people could say, oh, that's gonna build character and build strength, but shit, no, it's gonna have them fucked up when they're about 30 years old.
That's not true, man.
But my point is,
It's all posture. If you're like lifting weights and like doing HIIT classes, you'll be fine. But if you're a fucking lug and you don't do anything all year, and now you want to shovel snow,
not true. The wrong fucking lift.
It's all posture. Yeah.
And who's really teaching people how to shovel snow? Like, let's talk about it.
I know how to dig,
dog. Okay. Anyway, okay. Like, what? I think I do get a little like, I'll say, like, you know what I'm saying, like, the generation below us and the children that we are raising don't necessarily.
Why'd you just do that?
I don't know. I'm sorry. The children that we are raising.
Give my thing back.
The children that we are raising don't have the same hustle, and it's our fault.
Your fault. I am hustler spirit.
It is our fault.
You just wore the t-shirt.
It is our fault because
it's back to the first episode. You want to give them all the warm and fuzzies.
No.
It's all related, yo. See? If you have them bare bones and they come home as long as they got heat and hot water and noodles.
You provided bare bones?
What do you mean?
Do you provide me with bare bones?
I mean, it's by force. Like,
what is by force?
My choice would be to give you bare bones just so you're motivated just enough. It's almost like pimp mentality of like, yo, you keep them,
dog.
You keep them comfortable.
The thing is that
no, scratch. You keep them like needing the next carrot. You don't want to have them comfortable and plush and having a 401k.
Then you will have your children out being pimped by Mo, Sally, and Roger. Okay?
Not necessarily.
You will absolutely have them being pimped by those things and people.
I think it builds.
It does not build character. It builds trauma.
Well,
it builds resentment.
Maybe. But in your case, I think you're far along enough where I can keep you just like needing the next fix.
Here's the thing.
So I don't want to give you like everything, because then like, what do you need me for? So you have to.
I don't ever want to need you or anybody else.
Yeah, but you gotta need this.
No.
You know what I mean?
You gotta want it. That's what makes you stay.
Oh, well. No, but you need to eat.
No, you gotta want it.
Like, you need to eat.
I can get nourishment from anywhere.
I mean,
now
I can't, because then I'm wrong for.
Now, is it always going to be what I want? No. And I prefer the things that I want.
Such as
you.
Oh.
Like, you here because I want you.
Oh. Well, I don't like that comment. The other one was sweeter.
But that one is real.
Yeah, that's fine.
And vice versa. Like, it goes both ways. But like the idea of being with or staying with anyone simply because you need them, and like you said, now they're dangling carrots in front of you and teasing you and pushing you to your limit, but just holding that thing over your head so you can stay because of the notion that you need them is crazy. And I'm not raising nobody like that.
No.
No,
Well, I mean,
no. And with that being said, I came across this meme, and it says, it's a word, honey. It says, be single until your trauma no longer chooses your partner for you.
that's real.
Let's talk. Can we talk about that?
Um,
Like, what do you, when you hear that, what do you hear? How does that speak to you?
a lot of people are carrying baggage that they don't unpack. I mean, I've always said that, just not perfectly framed that way. But I think people need to be single more and stop looking for.
A savior,
I wouldn't. Well,
a
I was
pimp,
gonna say
like
companionship.
a pimp, like you was just saying.
I mean,
Someone that dangles
I
stuff in
was
front of you,
I was being facetious,
like,
Leah. Like
safety. The idea of safety.
I was being facetious.
Oh, okay.
I think that people. I think that people are afraid to be alone, and it bothers me because it's actually, I think when you're extreme one way or another, it's problematic. And so I have tried to be, um from a younger age, I've tried to be more like middle, where like I can see certain things, or I can do certain things, or I can tolerate certain things, be around certain people, be around certain places. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not so heavy. I'm not heavy being around bougie people. I'm not heavy being around fucking, you know, the roughest of the rough. Like I don't need fully all of that. Like I can be in and out, or I can just be alone. And I think that some people just go through life, as we were just talking about the other day, like life is hard. And I think a lot of people, and I would say like the percentage is probably, if I was to make it up in my head, the percentage is like 80. I think people do not know how to deal and cope. And so whether it's a persons, weed, alcohol, shopping, retail therapy, constantly taking trips, people are constantly like not dealing. And if you're taking trips, let me put this amendment. If you're taking trips and you're actually like sitting on a beach or sitting in the water and reflecting and thinking, maybe reading a self-help book or journaling or something like that's different. But if you're going and like, it's the fucking Steve Harvey cruise and all this type of shit, like you're not dealing. So anyway.
I can argue. I will argue that point, right? In the sense of sometimes not dealing is dealing, right? Sometimes stepping away from the norm, the pressures of the norm is dealing. Because either way, when you return, you got to figure it out, right? And so stepping away should always anyway bring clarity. And whether you're doing it, you know you're seeking, like you mentioned the cruise or whatever, right? And just on vacation, regardless. Like if I go on vacation and I choose to be a beach bum all day and then bar hop all night, like, who cares? It's something that is making me happy and feel good in the moment.
Temporarily.
In the moment.
Yeah.
And
that's not dealing.
And guess what? I'm okay with that, because life is hard.
Yeah.
And
then
so
that's contradictory then.
No, it's not contradictory. So life is hard. So let me go and hit a reset button, get a little bit in, because life is not supposed to be hard constantly.
I mean, we can't control the cards without.
Life is not supposed to be constantly hard.
I think you have to be intentional to find joy and find peace.
And so that's what
But
people are doing when they do those type of things.
Yeah, but some people escape. Like going to a movie in theory does what you're talking about, Leah.
For who? It might do it
You go
for
to
you.
you go to Black Panther and you escape for 3 hours.
No,
and you
but
come back and you get right to
but
it.
here's that
right?
thing.
And some people will go see Black Panther, they'll come home and get drunk, then they'll get high, and then they'll go to sleep, and then they'll wake up in the morning and have a little whiskey in their tea, right, to start their day off. Like, so there's many different levels, and I think to the point of the trauma being worked on, like, you either work on it or you don't. And I think having temporary enjoyment is great, but if that temporary enjoyment is then stretched out, and then you are constantly addressing your trauma to the back of the class because you don't feel like getting to it, or it's too hard, or I've had a really hard day, you never get to it. And it's like clothes that you never put away.
So I want
right? It's like, oh shit, I've been meaning to get to it. I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it next week. I'll get to it tomorrow. Like, you have to do the work.
I'm not disagreeing on having to do the work. I think so when you went on that tangent, the prior one, like you for me, you went away from what the quote was talking about.
About trauma?
About being single until your trauma not choosing your relationship, your next partner, right? Like, you just went somewhere else. And so for me, when I hear that, I hear work on yourself. Don't let the things that you are lacking, or that you are searching for, the things that you are don't let the things that you are lacking be the reason why you settle for something that is beneath you, in a sense. Right? So for example, if I'm chasing my dad, I'm chasing my daddy's love, the absence of my daddy's love, I'm chasing the absence of security, I'm chasing the absence of structure, right? I get with somebody that is providing what could be similar to what my daddy's love would feel like, right? I'm choosing someone who is providing, some structure, but and by structure I mean stability, right? So I'm with somebody that's taking care of me, but he talks to me like shit and he treats me like shit. But it's okay, because my trauma says he's giving me, even though he's doing this thing, he's giving me all those things that I lacked and I haven't dealt with. Like, that's the way that I see that. Like, when you start talking about going on vacation and working, like, you kind of messed me up a little bit. But for me, like, picking a partner, it should not be based on your trauma. Like, you shouldn't pick your partner because, one, you shouldn't pick your partner because you can trauma bond with them, and two, you shouldn't pick your partner because your trauma is very telling of the things that you have lacked or are lacking in your present life.
But for me, that's all related. It's all related in the sense of, you trauma bond with someone if you don't know other things you can bond with somebody for.
Of course.
And like, I'm equating this to like managing people, right? And so there's different so I've met many different people who are different managers and have different management styles.
Yeah.
Some managers are dictators and they tell you what to do, and that's their style, and it's very abrasive. Some managers invest the time to like build relationships with people and have like little small talk. Now, there's different levels to it. And so when you have to have those hard conversations, it's a little easier versus the person that never put that time in. But you have to invest that time in. So now equate that to what I said about going away or going and doing whatever and escaping. You have to do the work for you, so that way you know what makes you happy. Maybe going to cryotherapy really makes you happy. Maybe going and playing pickleball makes you happy. So maybe you'll meet somebody at pickleball and that's your happy place, right? But if you are constantly, numbing yourself with that, whatever that is, right? Whether it's a vacation or whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, then that's the trauma bonding. Now, vacation, not so much trauma bonding. But if you're meeting somebody and having a fun fling, I don't know how healthy that is. Depends on what type of life you want to have. I don't know why you don't see the correlation of that. I'm saying if you don't do the work, then you are constantly escaping it. So you are going to meet someone who on a surface you're attracted to. If you don't dig into what that is. And when I said people can't be alone and escaping, blah, 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 like you don't know what makes you happy. And that on a surface level, and then you can go deeper. Like what makes you happy sexually? Do you even know? Do you know your body? There's many levels of it. But when I say that I don't feel like people do that, like people are constantly doing something and they're not like, I remember I mentioned, I feel like to all of us, like to the kids or whatever, when we were away, and I was like, driving in silence. That's actually like a good thing to do sometimes. Just be quiet. Sit down and be quiet. Do not be on your phone. Do not be listening to fucking music. Just be quiet. It's a good thing. And I think a lot of people can't do that. And they choose not to. That's a problem for me, right? But I'm not the arbiter of everyone. So God bless. Have at it. But for people not to be able to hear their own thoughts, be outside and shovel and don't have music in your ears.
Was that fun for you?
I wasn't listening. So ironically, because I'm Hawaiian.
I'm asking you.
Leah, I was annoyed at my. So you like I don't. God, yo, it was annoying because my fucking thing wasn't working.
Yeah.
But the plan was I actually wanted to listen to a podcast that I was finishing listening to.
Right. So regardless.
And so I'm in the middle of listening to it, and then it just froze and was spinning. So that's frustrating.
Of course.
But you I have gone outside with no music.
You didn't go out there with
I've gone outside with no headphones. Now, the reason of me going outside with headphones is not for motivational purposes, but like a bunch of people are shoveling. And what happens is, which is cool, I just wasn't in the mood for it, but people will like chat across the street and like little shit like, it's like going to a gym class. And you're like, fucking burpees. You know what I mean? Can you believe this shit? I just want to zone out. I don't want to hear you. I want to listen to what I want to listen to.
Of course.
But like if I'm out there by myself, if I go out when nobody's outside, like I've gone out and just to listen to the I've done that.
Okay.
Driving this morning, like I drove in silence.
I think that
doesn't,
certain aspects, you know what I'm saying? Like silence is silence, being able to sit with self, whether you're in silence or not, being able to sit with self is something that's very important. I believe that, yes, you should be able to sit with self. You should know what makes you tick. You should know, you know what I'm saying? Like, the things that you feel as though, like, figure out whether it is, if you are lacking or you feel like you're lacking in, feel your desires, you know what I'm saying? Like the desires that are not being met, like you should know that, and right, and you should know whether or not, you know, you should expect that those things to be filled by other people. And for me, like, that's all that's saying, right? Like, figure out who you are, figure out how you can, you know, self-please. And I'm not being fresh, I'm saying find your own happy place and happy space. Know what that is, know what that looks like. And if somebody is able to add to that, perfect. But you shouldn't simply be with that person simply because they fill those empty boxes that you can no longer, that you cannot fill yourself, or that have never been fulfilled, period.
I hear that. That makes sense.
But like being able to sit in silence, like, that's a personal thing. That's a personal choice. If you want to go shovel in silence, that's fine. For me, when I was shoveling, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want the music on. You know why? It's not about it motivating me, or maybe it is, but like, it's getting in the groove, and like it's like I don't like to work out in silence.
Working out in silence, cleaning in silence, cooking in silence, folding clothes in silence.
I don't like to work out.
Like, you don't like to do any of it, and your kids are the same way.
I don't like to work out.
That bothers me. I don't like but whatever.
I don't like to work out in silence.
Anything in silence, yo. We were downstairs, and fucking people were having seizures because there was no music on. I'm like, guys, it's okay. Put the tunes on. Give me the aux. Guys, it's okay.
Are you referring to Christmas?
I don't know. Whenever we were downstairs,
like if we're downstairs open, it's not even that.
No. I wasn't opening gifts, Leah. We were in the kitchen. It was something happening, and like I was washing dishes. Somebody was over here at the table. Somebody was over here.
Okay.
And it was like, put the music. I'm like, and guys,
it's more so to celebrate the
no
holiday. It was
excuses, yo.
Daniel, if people want to have like holiday music on in the background to continue the festive mood,
you're not gonna do that.
That's fine. I'm going to do it because that's what that was.
So when people are downstairs washing dishes,
and they're choosing to watch a TV show or whatever, they're multitasking. They're doing the same thing that you love to do, that you are so great at.
Oh my God!
What's the problem?
You're insane.
What's the problem?
You are insane, yo. And because you are the main culprit, that's why you're gonna always
the main culprit. When I was,
you are the culprit.
My guy, you sit there and listen to freaking podcasts when you're washing dishes.
Yeah.
So what are we?
Because I have a lot to catch up on.
What?
Like
Bye,
you don't,
boy.
Leah. Like
we can't. Like you can't sit up here
Leah,
and condemn folks for
like
doing the things and then say it's.
I will bet you $50 cash, right?
I don't watch TV when I'm
from this day from today for today until tomorrow, that we can be moving around and doing something without having some background noise and distraction happening.
Who is we?
I know, me and you. You can't do that.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Of course you don't, Leah. Just move on now.
Daniel, here's what I'll say. Like I hate when you do that, right? Because I can absolutely.
It's a preference.
You
keep saying you can, but like, do it then. It's a person saying I can stop drinking whenever I want to. Well, prove it.
Oh my gosh.
Prove it. Otherwise, it's lip service, anyway, and don't argue with me about it.
I can prove it.
Like, oh man, whatever.
The thing is just because sometimes you're not there to see certain things doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. And I'm gonna leave it at that. But you know, when I was cooking for real, like absolutely, I'm downstairs by myself doing it. Absolutely, I'm gonna put some music on. I'm chilling by myself and I'm vibing. Whether or not the choice of music that I am choosing to listen to is, you know what I'm saying, like making me reminisce on something, certain shit, or even making me think about some other things. Like, you have no idea what that music is doing while I'm in the process of doing the things. But either way, I'm still sitting with self. Like, I'm still sitting with self.
Maybe you are, Leah, but that's the opposite. I mean,
it's not the opposite.
I think, you know, good for whomever. I think the point of me saying sitting in silence versus sitting with music playing Like there are people that there are people who it is so bad that there are people who go to the library and they can't sit at the library without having music playing. I think that is a problem. Now, you may not think that that is a problem. I think that's a problem. Of course, it's all fucking preferences, Leah. If I want to pierce my nipples is a preference.
But to be able
to sit in silence is something that people can't or choose not to do.
Sure.
Period. Sure. I don't want to hear none of the fucking nuances. Who cares, yo?
I know.
I remember going to the library and you hear shh. That doesn't happen so much now because people can't fucking be in silence. How do you argue that? That's a fact.
I don't argue that thing about
So that's what I'm saying, Leah. I'm saying that. We can choose whatever, yo. We could choose whatever. Like, yeah. I'm just saying that, like, you know, and it's not, I would wish that more people did that. Because I think
Where do you think that will come from? What do you think will come from people sitting in silence?
A lot, Leah.
What do you think that you would benefit? What will come from the people sitting in silence that you benefit from? Like, how would you benefit from that? You personally.
I don't know. Maybe my interactions with people might be a little different. Maybe there's a different level of self-awareness. Maybe there's a different level of when we have conversations and I apologize and they apologize, or we talk about something that's a different. It's like when I say I have conversations with people who are in therapy, it's a different conversation than people. Yeah, but I've talked to people who aren't in therapy and they disagree with that because there's a lack of fucking, they don't do it. So they don't understand.
Whether they do,
you understand because you're in therapy. I mentioned that to 5 other people who are in therapy, and they all got it, and none of them argued it.
Well,
I mentioned that to 3 people who aren't in therapy, and they don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, I'll say,
and I don't expect them to.
Well, I feel like again, you're talking about you don't have to be in therapy to have self-awareness.
Yeah, true.
And self-understanding, and so I think. If you are saying certain things in that manner, if you're saying that, like, oh, you know, I talking to people that's in therapy, it has a different conversation. Like, then what the fuck are you talking to me for? If you feel that way, right? And so,
I think that's a lack of maturity and lack of.
It's
like
not,
reception.
No,
that's not an insult. Now, if I say talking to people, it's a higher level. Now that,
but that's essentially what.
No, it's not. Words matter. Daniel, I said it's a different conversation.
Daniel.
I didn't say it's more intense. And when it's more nutritious. I said it's different.
And when you say different, you don't think that there's an undertone in the word different? When you are comparing when you are comparing 2 different people, when you are comparing people to each other, one that is in therapy and one that is not, and you're saying different, you're just using that verbiage, and it can feel like you're using that verbiage, right, as a slight undertone to what you really mean. And at the end of the day, you are saying it is better to talk to people who are in therapy, who have worked on.
It's a different level of nutrition.
You are saying that, right? And I feel like people who are not in therapy, not everybody, because some folks really need to do the work. But just because you are not seeking professional help doesn't mean that you have not started or are in process of doing the work on yourself. And that you can't hear and or understand what is being said. Like, I never go around saying, oh, people that I talk to that are in therapy.
Going around and saying it is a why. Like, come on.
It's a different.
Knock it off.
Dude. Okay, I've never said it to anyone.
Well, I mean.
And I know folks that are in therapy or not. And the folks that I know that are not, and if certain things arise, I'm like, oh, you probably should talk to somebody.
And how's that go?
It goes, right?
No. How's that go? Do they ask you for a referral? They ask you for the name? Or do you change the subject to talk about fucking Jenny Jones?
Oh, nobody's talked about Jenny Jones in I don't know how
long. Don't be a
in terms of
fucking putz.
Yeah, I've absolutely given out referrals.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, it is what it is. And so and also, but I also don't like, I don't know. I know what it has done and what it is doing for me. However, you know, it's, for me, it creates a safe space to release all of my inner thoughts and thinking, right? Because I do a lot of work on my own in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just a safe space to talk. And it's not that I'm not offered, or directed to do any further work, but it's just a safe space. And I think that sometimes people don't feel like safe spaces are a real thing. So that's one of the reasons why they don't do. And then let's talk about the cost. Shit ain't free. Let's talk about the work that it takes to find somebody that actually you can feel comfortable with. That's work in itself.
I mean,
and it's not always easy.
Nothing's easy, Leah. I just,
and by easy, I mean that like it's not just hard on the surface level.
What? Say
Jesus
more.
Christ.
Like of actually like talking to somebody and digging in and doing a work, or like finding somebody
like the
100%, depending on what your niche and all that shit. If you want a black woman or black man,
you know what I'm saying? Like even just like a fucking regular PCP, like it's tough.
Yes, Leah, but like, okay, so use your PCP. So I don't know. We'll get into the weeds, and I guess it's a normal conversation that like couples or friends would have, so like it's fine, right? Because it's reflective of like real life.
Anyway,
but I do think that like when it comes to any of that, I guess just where I am is I just want, I'm not being a hypocrite in like what I either say or practice or like believe. And so the same way we just had a conversation, and I said from early on, I never wanted to be the person that like that needed coffee or needed something to get me. If you're prescribed.
So we're talking about coping mechanisms.
Leah, we're talking about coping mechanisms, and also like what is hard and what is not, and what you're willing to do. And so like the things that I say are consistent. You may disagree, or someone may disagree, right? Like we can say why people don't go to the doctor. You had a great point that I never really considered. A lot of people, when they think of hospitals, people go in, don't come out. Fair enough. That's a fear, right? I don't think that's a great enough fear to just still do what you're doing and not go, right? I think that you be proactive. Don't wait. I think getting your teeth cleaned, I think all those things should happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Finding a fucking dentist that you like that has good bedside manner might be tricky, might take you a long time, but like it's important, so you should do it. Finding a therapist, you go through one, you don't like them, go to another one. Maybe it ends up being an Asian male instead of a black male. I don't know. But like to just not do it and say, well, it's hard.
So I want to commend you, right? Because I remember the first time that I brought it up to you, and you was like, I don't need it, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And so why can't, like, it took you time, right?
Okay, I'll answer that.
It
didn't take me time, Leah.
Okay.
It didn't take me time. Okay. I think that I did therapy years ago when I didn't see the value in it, and I was being forced to in foster care, right? So I never had the idea of like what my parents or your parents and that generation of, you know, I think
I'm
we
not
were the
going.
generation after
I'm
that
not
of like,
going.
you know, therapists and that's for crazy people.
I'm not digging that back to when you
It's
were in
important
foster
though.
care.
It's important
So it took
for
you
context. But for
maybe for
me,
yours, but
you are more guarded and more secretive what you're.
Daniel,
Listen,
hold on,
Leah.
wait. Can I just say this? Go ahead, guy.
You are more guarded with your information that you share and that you put out, that you distill and what you process. I have been, since you met me, way more sharing and freeing of flowing of information and expressing my feelings. I don't suppress my feelings. So for me, whether I'm writing a song or I'm talking to someone and being honest with that person and really letting shit out, that was a form of therapy for me. Now, that's not the same as a licensed therapist who's giving you tools and allowing you to be able to process in a different way. But I never talked to people and invested time in a sense as I got older and people that's just, yeah, man, you're right. Yeah, man. Yeah, fuck that bitch. Yeah, you're right. I always talked to people that gave me a different perspective or challenged me or said I was out of pocket.
Awesome.
So for me, that was therapeutic. But
yes, the things that you did were therapeutic. The writing, the songs, like all of that was therapeutic. It was not therapy. And so what I'm saying to you is when I suggested it to you, you didn't hop right on it. You took maybe 2 or 3 years to do it. And even in doing it, I was like, yo, we need it for both of us to stay in this match, to sustain this marriage.
Because you was fucking up. No, go on, babe.
I was fucking up.
I didn't mean to say that out loud. Go on. Let's not focus on all those stuff.
I was fucking up.
No. We don't need to focus on the little details,
let's
babe.
Be 100%.
Let's just go, please.
It was said,
please continue.
If you want this marriage to continue, then we need to go to therapy, right? And then I also said you needed to have your own therapist. So we needed marriage therapy, and you needed individual therapy. And it took you about I remember this very clearly. You're like, oh, let's just go back to the pastor that married us and just get the counseling. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is deeper than that.
I kind of remember that.
This is deeper than that. And then it was, okay, well, if you don't find nobody, then I don't know where we are going. And then you found our marriage therapist, who then referred you to somebody else. But it took about a year, maybe more.
I was busy just trying to.
Yeah. About to lose everything.
Yeah.
But my point is that
crazy.
My point is that
yeah.
At the time you didn't feel or see the value in it the way that you do now. And for me, the way that you are projecting is very judgmental on those who are in that same space that you were in, who don't see the value in it at the moment.
You don't think that so I don't know. I think
the way that you are explaining
I hear what you're saying, and I'm in me, and I'm just speaking from inside my body and how I function, right? Even in the conversations we have with the amount of friends you have, and it's different friend groups, and I'll take it off of you because other people have said it, where you are certain ways with certain friends, or certain things you talk about with certain friends. I don't necessarily have certain friends that I feel like I will limit what I'm talking about. I am who I am. I have always been this way, whether appropriate or inappropriate, and that judgment is up for debate. Boundaries or no boundaries, and that judgment is valid and up for debate. But for me, when I went through what I went through with Patrice, I went through it. It wasn't a therapist that got me through that. And it took as long as it took, but I went through it. How I went through it. When my dad died, I went through it, right? So for me, I go through it in real time, in a real way, and hard and fucking raw pause. So it's not a matter of a lot of people, and I would hope you wouldn't debate this part. A lot of people don't necessarily deal i.e. when you get people to go to funerals and they fucking pass out and fall out because they see the body. I have never done that because in real time, I'm dealing with it. And I'm aware in real time that my dad is dead and he's in a coffin. Right? It's not a surprise. I'm not, oh, this might be a bad dream. None of those things. So for me, Daniel Laurent, I process differently in real time. And people say like I'm overblowing things, or you're always so emotional, or you're always so sensitive. Maybe, but it allows me to go through it. And then I go through it. I don't take shit as surface and just fucking waste time, and like I want to go through it so we get past it.
Okay.
And there's so many examples that I get that personally.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. So for me, like
so
therapy,
I'll definitely challenge you on that. And I think that yes, there's certain things that you deal with and go through, as you say, right? For me, it's like, it's not a matter of, hooting and hollering at the service when you're at the service, or even passing out, right? I think grief hits people differently, and I think for some, a lot of times that grief piles up, right?
Sure.
And I also think that in terms of grief, like, you may have been in a space where, you know what I'm saying, as a child, when you cried, nobody told you to man up and shut up and man up, right? And so you have been able to deal with, your emotions. And maybe from a younger age, you had a little bit more emotional intelligence, right?
100%. You're right.
But
I'm not speaking from a place of privilege, which I'm mindful of.
But
I always say that.
The comparison, you know what I'm saying? You saying like, you dealt with it in real time. Well, how much time did that take you to deal with those two deaths that you referred to?
I don't know.
Do you feel like it was a week? Do you feel like it was a month? Like, or
it was a long time.
It was a long time, right? And so, with that said,
but I can say it on a podcast and not fucking break down and cry.
Of course.
I can talk about it or watch a video or look at a picture.
So it took you a long time.
Yes.
And it has been a very long time since those things happened. It's been 15 years since your dad passed away. Okay? And it's been about 20 over 20 years. I don't even know what year this is. 26. 20. It's been 25 years. 25, 26 years since that happened with Patrice. Right? And so, with that, I'll say it took you a long time. And I feel like if you were in therapy, it would have prevented the time. It would have shortened the time that it took for you to go through it and deal with it. So your way is your way and their way is theirs.
So you just advocating for folks?
I'm saying folks should seek therapy, and I think, hanging with your girlfriends and your male friends is all good, and those sessions are absolutely therapeutic when you are able to be around somebody and be vulnerable and share and console and comfort one another
for 12
that
hours.
You trust, right? For certain, it is a beautiful thing. However, not everyone is equipped to handle what you're dumping on them, or not dumping, what you're sharing, right? Not everyone is capable of, you know, guiding you in a way to help you process those emotions and those frustrations. And so, yes, it is important to seek the professional help because it will take you places in your life that you probably will, won't be able to get to if you don't have it. And that goes for picking, the right partner. That goes to the way in which you are able to connect with, if you have children, the way in which you are able to connect with children, the way in which you are able to connect with friends and family members. My group of friends are, you know what I'm saying, it's a mixed bag. Some are in, some have not been. And then there are some where, like, those that have not been, because life be lifing, and it just feels like, what I'm saying, like,
I know the ones that haven't been.
all the things are, what I'm saying, compiling. Like, it shows when a few drinks get had.
It's not good,
right? And it's not bad. It's not always a bad thing.
No, but it's not
right. Good. But, like, motherfuckers can get emotional.
Yeah, I don't want that. Yeah.
But that's just because they feel comfortable. They feel comfortable, but they feel comfortable, and they have no place to put that.
I know,
and
but
they don't understand. But that's the point.
That's not good,
I think we're saying the same thing.
We're saying the same thing, and I think I've been on the receiving end of that. And, like, if I do, talking about being alone, and like I'm a person where I champion going to eat or going to the movies by yourself or whatever it is, right? Like, we know someone that says that that's weird, right? I'm on the opposite end of that. I've been on the other end of being out with someone and having a good time, and you're laughing and shit, and all of a sudden it's fucking, and I'm like, whoa, what happened? Wait a minute, hold on, and now you're in it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, God damn, I wanted a little release. I didn't know that I was gonna be, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, yo, I ain't got time for this, bro. You're on your own. But, like, it's just, I can say, unless somebody hears this and can tell me otherwise, I don't think that I've ever, had some drinks and had a full meltdown about my issues with you or my issues with my daddy, or
I don't think that you needed the drink to have that.
No.
And so you didn't need the drink to have to.
But I think your point
that.
is good. I didn't have the thing of, like, man up, or, what I'm saying, what the fuck are you crying for, and all that type of shit, which, I just think is so awful. And now, so that's a lot of young men's, I mean, girls too, but young men in particular, like, that's a lot of their experiences. And that's unfortunate, because you're raising a powder keg, and that shit's gonna explode, and it's just not cool. So, as we're closing, I guess, that's my piece of, for dads who are raising young men, young boys, whether they are 6 months, 5 years old, 10 years old, 13, 16, like, let them feel, you know what I'm saying, and feel with them. Or if you are feeling and you cry, or you shed a tear, or you shed multiple tears, like, don't go run in a room. You know what I'm saying? Let them see that. That's normal. And that like, that's what I'll say. I think there's a more eloquent way of saying it, but I'm hungry, and I'm about to go, like, fetch some food because my wife You know.
Everybody.
Exactly. So do you have something to you got like a daily word?
I guess what I would say is, I think what is it? TLC. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Oh my God.
Why are you all you got in?
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to. That's the full quote.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually saying the opposite of what you started with. You're saying stick to the rivers and lakes and the traumas that you're used to.
I just was
trauma
saying,
bond with the person next door and get your shit off, and don't go chasing waterfalls and looking for betterment.
So
Come on,
don't go chasing waterfalls. I wasn't quoting the whole song.
Nah, but you can't do that. That's like when people say
you can't tell me what
no,
I can do.
Tell you because that's misleading to the folks. It's like when people say jack of all trades. The actual thing is jack of all trades. Fuck.
Exactly. So, like I said, don't go chasing waterfalls, right? And I can simply say, you know what I mean? I can also say the grass is always green on the other side, and that's what we are typically attracted to. You know what I'm saying?
I like that green grass.
A flower blooming in somebody's garden when yours is wilted and withered away.
Yeah.
Right? Like, of course it looks pretty.
And pretty
right?
Flowers.
Because it's been taken care of, right?
Mm.
And so you be your flower and take care of self. Come into your full bloom before you allow anyone else to water you.
Ooh, water, like.
And with that,
we
out.
We'll see y'all next time. Next Bat channel, you know what it is. We're locked and loaded.
Okay.
Leah.
I had to. We're locked and loaded.
Wedlocked and loaded.
Well, locked and loaded.